Hello everybody, here we are and welcome back. It's time to just simply start working on this project, and we had to fix the bugs here. There were a lot of bugs. The thing is that as I started taking the help of AI and then copied in, like in this particular case I took the help of AI, but it wasn't able to fix the bugs and all. That simply means we need to just do it on our own. Otherwise the AI is gonna be making it even worse, because it doesn't have the whole context, right? It doesn't know how we are actually managing other things, so it just tries to predict the stuff, but that's not the way we want, and that is why we will have to write the code on our own to make it work the way we want it to. So let's see how it's gonna be going on. As for right now, I hope I'm audible. So yeah, so without any further delay, let's just simply get going. Let me just simply run dev, start it, and then we'll see what needs to be done. The very first thing that is here, that whenever I start resizing that, so this thing is here, this thing is here, updated shape is here. At the end of the day, we are just simply selecting the bounds as well. So this is sort of getting done. The main problem is that even while move shape, we are updating the shape, right? And we are getting the selected shape in here. So yeah, that's the problematic thing. Earlier what I was doing, that this updated shape is actually being set as selected shape, right? Okay, we'll let the program run, and then we'll see what is the bug and what we have to fix. Slash canvas. So just a sec. So ultimately, whenever I move, the moving doesn't happen here. Forget about the resizing. For resizing, we'll have to rewrite probably or override the whole logic. At least we can just go through the things step by step and we can fix them. And that's the best thing that can be done right now. But it's just gonna be loading it. So let's just wait for a while. So while moving, we have the selected shape here, right? So this is the selected shape, and once we have the selected shape, as we start moving it in this particular section, so we are going through all the shapes, we are getting X and Y, so that's even being updated over here. So shape and X and Y, and once this is done, then I'm destructuring the selected shape, adding the X and Y on that, and that is it. So at the end of the day, this logic is same as if this one shape is gonna be nothing but the selected shape. So that's gonna be equals to the ID. That simply means I get this. Yeah, so what I can do, that I can actually keep it here, and that's sort of gonna be the selected shape, and in case of ID is gonna be equals to the ID of selected shape dot ID. What I'll do, I'll return updated shape over here, and the same updated shape is gonna be set as the selected shape, and this way. What can be problematic thing here? Here we are updating the selected shape itself, and that will not be problematic. We are getting dx and dy here. Okay, that's fine. We are just getting the distance between the current point and the last point, so that will work. And let me see. Coming back to this, here we have this. As we are moving it, we are able to move it well. That's what we wanted. Okay, and So ultimately moving is just working the way we want it to work, right? You can just simply move things here and there, and that will sort of do the job. So yeah, we are able to move the things, and apart from this particular thing, yeah, so apart from this particular thing, we have to work on the resizing part, and this resizing part is not working quite well. Yeah, like we are not able to resize in the backward direction, and it is with any shape for that sake. Okay, so what can we do right here? At least this thing is working, and if I just simply still working, yeah. So at the end of the day, even if I just zoom in and zoom out, that seems to be working fine. That is working fine. And the next thing that we have to do, that is apart from this move shape, we have to come back to this resize shape, and this is where we are actually resizing the shape, and handle other shapes resize over here, or handle remaining shapes resize. Coming back to this one, we have the starting point, we have the end point, and this is the starting point and end point of the selected shape, and now we are just simply changing the value of the starting point, the end point, and as we change the value got changed as we moved here and there. Then I got the updated shape, even we are normalizing the things. So while normalizing, what am I doing? I'm actually passing end. And what is end? End is nothing but x plus width. Not really. End does not need to be x plus width. Rather, end needs to be this is end, right? Fine. And we are passing dx and dy. We have to pass the current point as well. So probably I need to pass one more current point here. What is my approach over here? That we have to resize the shapes the way we are drawing them. So while drawing, I'm normalizing it, right? So if I try to normalize it here, it does not work. Why it does not work? Because the end is not the current end. The end is the x plus width, or y plus height. So as I move it, so at that time I'm not quite changing the width and height of that, right? First of all, we are normalizing that, and once normalizing that, the width and height, they are automatically calculated from start and end. This width itself, this end that I have, that can never be negative, and ultimately it has x and y, and we have this. Once we have this width and height, that's always gonna be positive. What I have to do, that if this end becomes less than the starting point, then end should become the start point. But in this particular case, end will never be negative. Why? Because we have x, we have y, and we are adding width and height on that. So there's no way that the value of x can ever be, the value of this end can actually be less than the start value, right? So instead of using this as an end point, we have to get the current point and we have to make that end point so that the value can actually decrease, and instead of calculating the end value over actually calculating the end value, we have to get the end value. In that way we will still be able to normalize, but the end value will be able to go beyond the start value. Let's see. And for that thing I need the current point. So if that is so, from here, especially when I'm moving the shape over here, I have the selected shape. Probably I need to send the current in the sense the end point that I have over here. This is the end point, and that's the current position of what? That's the current position of the mouse. And excuse me, the current position that I actually have over here, this will only work for the end point. So if I actually come back here, so at the end of the day I'm gonna be getting the current point. The question is, how am I gonna be using this? So once I have the current point, even I know the distance between the current point and the last point. So this is the distance. Alrighty, hopefully it's fine. Yeah, so if I go here, this becomes the current point. So if that becomes the current point, then that gets problematic. If I change this, so ultimately this will become the endpoint, that is for sure. Using the endpoint I can get this, but at the end of the day here I do not need the endpoint. So when I am changing the value of this, at that time what I have to keep in mind, whenever changing the value like this, it doesn't go beyond that. So we have to fix these two things, but the question is, how can I? Even it must not be going then beyond this as well. Yeah. So need to figure out a way. As I'm moving the mouse, the value of x and y is also changing. So how about wherever I'm clicking, that becomes the end point, and this was the starting point. So if this becomes the end point, then this should be starting. There are two ways. Either I fix this, the thing I'm trying to fix, or I make the width negative. Making the width negative will work, but it will only work for circles, ellipses, rectangles and all. It will not work for circle, because circle cannot have negative width, width. So the simple question is, if I have it's x and y here, Excalidraw.com, coming back to this, here we have the x and y values as per our calculation. So we have this, it is here. Apart from this particular thing, we have the width. So we have the width of the rectangle, we have the height of the rectangle as well. So we have the height. Now the question is that when it comes to end, so end is gonna be usually, let me just simply get it here. So x plus width and y plus height, that's gonna be the end over here. as simple as that. So that's gonna be the end. Now whenever I click suppose here and I start resizing this, at that time I'm changing the value of the width and the height. As per that thing, end is automatically getting resized, so this works. But as I come at this point, so width becomes 0, height becomes 0, and from here this particular part should become x and y, and a new x and y should be moving. So we have to change the coordinates here. So start should become end and end should become start. So what is the condition? The condition is, but how will I get the end value? This width and height, it's gonna be calculated, that's okay, no problem with that as such. But as I come here, so at that time the start value that I had, that should become end. That's not the index. So it's like as I am moving it, I am changing the value of this. Okay, how can we implement this? At the end of the day, we are changing a few things here. Suppose if I am moving it from here, so width and height is only changing, but as I move it backwards, so it turns out the whole x coordinate is changing over here. So when this particular thing changes, so the whole x coordinate changes. If I move it at the top, so as I move, I am changing the value of the x coordinate, and not only that, even the width and height is also changing. In that case, let's talk about ellipse here. So when it comes to ellipse, this is the starting point. As I go backwards, the radius becomes minus. The radius cannot be minus anymore, like it cannot be that. So if the radius cannot be that, in that case, how will I be resizing that? Even how am I drawing it when I'm drawing it? Suppose I started drawing it from here, I went backwards, so the starting becomes the end. So it has only 2 points, the start point, that is this, the end point, that is this. If the end point goes more than the starting point, it just simply switches, as simple as that. Unlike this, here it is fine, if it goes more than that, it just simply switches. That's completely alright. So at the end of the day, this is still xy, but the value actually switches it. But what if I click on this one? Okay. And now what if I select this? Not really getting a better way to just simply handle this. The kind of logic that I have, that will not work. Let me ask it one more time. Let's see what it does. Can you fix it in such a way so that we are able to resize the shape backwards as well, and if end goes end becomes less than start, the values should swap, and current point is the current point of the process. Let me know if there's anything else needed for this functionality, and if it can't be implemented like this, then how it's implemented on Excalidraw.com. Alright, you are very close. The main problem is that you are using dx and dy relative movement and always modifying the original selected shape. So yeah, that's right. When the user drags past the opposite side, width becomes negative, height becomes negative. Active resize handler should flip left to right, top to bottom. Yeah, the rectangular origin should move. This is exactly how Excalidraw behaves. Option 1, instead of using dx and dy, use the cursor position. So current point and the rectangle's fixed anchor corner. So for example, start is the top left, end is the current right. Okay, dragging top left. So as start is the current cursor, dragging top left, start will become the current cursor, and will become the bottom right fixed. So this is going to be fixed and this is going to be fixed. Then normalize it. So why your current approach breaks? You have x is equal to 100, while with, yeah, that always remains sort of positive. Now drag the left handle. Your code start x plus dx, and start x is greater than end x. The rectangle has inverted. The fix is normalize start and end, which swaps them. Better normalization rate. So we are actually gonna be swapping x and y, and we are gonna be just simply getting the width. This alone backward resizing allows. Okay, that's one. The second one, when crossing over left, after crossing cursor, the handle should become right. Yeah, we are not even doing this, we are not even changing the handles, otherwise dragging feels reversed. Excalidraw clone solution stores width height, but during resize it calculates anchor point and drag point and recomputes. New bounds are gonna be normalized anchor point and drag point. Anchor point is the starting point if I'm not wrong, and this is the it does not keep adding dx and dy forever. What would I do? Store resize, store data. So resize state, it will have the bounds resizable handle and original bounds, get bounds and the selected shape. So we are getting the bounds, we are getting the resizable handle ref on mouse down. So we are doing this, and this makes sense. Then on mouse move, resize state current ref original bounds. Calculate the fixed corner. Handle bottom right, bounce dot x and y. Let's see what happens. So looking at your code, the clean solution is to stop resizing from incremental dx and dy and instead resize from original bounds when resizing the started current cursor position. That's exactly how Excalidraw does. Okay. So it is asking me to have resize start bound ref. That's gonna be resize start. Resize start bounds ref. Okay, let's see what happens. We'll see this approach as well. Whatever it is, simply asking me to destroy. So first of all, what it is saying that add this particular ref. So okay, that's added easily, no problem. And this is the resize start bounds ref. So at starting, what are the bounds? Store bounds on pointer downs. If a resize handler is there, is resizing dot current ref true? So if resize handler is there, so on pointer down we must be doing that. So if that is a select, then if we have the selected element, so if we have the resize handler, so is resizing dot current true? Resizable handler, that's gonna be resize dot handle, and then we have resize start bounce ref dot current, that's gonna be equals to bounce. Okay, that's fine. So we are storing the value of the current bounce as well. Replace your resize shape with this. Well, luckily it just returns it all. So we'll not have any problem replacing this. Let's see whether it is actually gonna be working or not. So this is size shape that I had. We're gonna be replacing the logic. We'll see exactly what's written here. No problem as such. We'll understand it well. Well, there is a problem. That is bounds.ax. Left is gonna be bounce.minix. So at the end of the day, if it actually wants to play, let's minix, this is gonna be min y. And is going to be, we are just simply having bounce.x, bounce.width. We don't really need to do it. The bounce.max x, bounce.max y. So the way we are calculating the bounce, it's like getting the shape. So whenever we are getting the bounce here at the top, get a bounding box, right? So we are getting the bounce. When it comes to getting the bounce, so we have min x and min y. We could have even calculated the, once we have this, we could have calculated width and height, but that's fine. So we got left, top, right, bottom, and then we are doing something. What that something is, let's keep that aside for now. After that, what do we need to do? Replace, resize this with resize, select shape and end point. We are just simply supposed to be sending the end point there, of course inside pointer move. So whenever we are resizing it, so we are gonna be sending just this much. Clear resize state on pointer up. So whenever the pointer up actually happens, at that time we have to clear the resize ref. So this is where it's done. What this picture, it is telling me that it fixes this. I'd like to check the result, then we'll go through the code. Well, it doesn't work at all. Okay, not problem. Already it doesn't seem to be right. There are still issues, so we have to fix them. So what's the first issue? That is somewhere here. Alrighty, this is the issue. So whenever we are resizing the shape, that's wrong, sorry. As I removed this, I should have got the another thing. I just made a mistake here. At the time I was supposed to be using this, and I used something else, so this is fine. And apart from this particular thing, what else? This is the last thing. Get this. Once I got this, I'm gonna be just simply keeping it here, or probably at the end. That doesn't really matter. Reload it. Alrighty, this works. The main issue is with this. Will this work? It does. Wow. Let's see how it made it happen. I have no idea. Dx and dy, and instead resize from original bounds when resize started in current cursor position. So we are resizing from the original bounds in current cursor position. So we are storing the value of original bounds, and as per the current cursor position, that's exactly how Excalidraw. So we are just simply storing this, and then if resize handles we are doing this, that is fine as well. The main logic is this. Apart from this logic, when pointer up happens, at that time I'm just simply using this as well, resize shape, and I'm just simply setting it to null. So the main logic is inside resize shape, this one. What am I doing here? Instead of getting dx and dy, I'm simply getting selected shape in current point. The shape that I selected, the current point that I have. After that, we got the bounds. So starting bounds we have here. Once we have the starting point bounds, we got this. And as for start was nothing, and was like it was just simply declared here. The value hasn't been assigned. Coming back to this one, if that is stop, so start is gonna be what? Start is gonna be x is gonna be left, and y is gonna be current point dot y, if that is equivalent to top. First of all, let me do one thing, that we have min x, we have min y, we have max x, we have max y. As simple as that. Right? Okay. So if that is start, so x will always be min x. If that is just top, okay, that's fine. So if we are just moving it from there, so that's top, so min x will always be the same. Current point dot y, that will become y, that's fine. It is simple in this particular case. And this is the start point. How about the end point? So if we have it here as for the end point, so ultimately when we selected this, so only y is changing, the start remains the same, the end will remain the same, the end y is gonna be changing. This one, start is changing, at the end of the day the value of the end that remains the same in the sense max x and max y, just like this, or left that makes sense. Okay, going ahead, this is the first thing. If that is the bottom, then of course the value of y is again gonna be changing. So the value of left will always, the top will always remain the same, so min x is gonna be here and min y is gonna be here. And coming back to this, right will remain the same, that simply means max x, current point dot y is gonna be changing, so this makes sense as well. Coming back to this one, when it comes to left, so on the left side what happens? On the left side, when doing this will remain the same, this is gonna change. When this is changing means what? The value of x is changing, y remains the same. The value of x is changing, y remains the same, and in here the value of x is changing, again y remains the same. So the start x, that's fine, and y will have the top value. We are talking about the start point here, when I just simply move it here and there. So even if I am resizing from, it's only the value of the start and that changes, that's fine. So when I am doing this, I have to change the value of the start and all. So top will always remain the same, that's simply gonna be min of y. So ultimately what am I doing? That whenever I'm clicking on any, I'm just simply we are changing the value of start and end for any shape. Based on that start and end value, the shape is gonna be drawn. So we are focusing on two things, starting point and the end point. And as we move it here and there, we are changing the value of either start or end, and after that we will redraw that. Coming back to this, the end will always remain the same, that simply means end means what? End means max of x and max of y. Okay, the important thing is that you should be able to understand the logic. So it is understandable, that's a good thing. Let's continue to this one. Right, so whenever we are changing the value of this, so ultimately start will always remain the same, only the value of end will change. So as for the start, that's gonna be min of x, and this is gonna be min of y and start y. That is fine. At that time, forget about the width and height. We have to just change the value of this. As we are doing it, so the current point will become the value of this, as simple as that. So start will become the current point, dash for bottom right, so that's gonna be max of x, it will always remain the same, max of y. Simple. Let's go to this one, top right, this one. When we are doing this, at that time what do we have to do? We have to change the value of what is going to change here. The value of start x will not change, the value of start y is going to change, and the value of start y is changing, and what is changing? The value of start y and the value of end x. Two things are changing, start y and x. Okay, so left will always remain the same, that's gonna be min of x. Start y is changing and this remains the same, and x is changing. Okay, pretty simple. Let's go to bottom left. So bottom left, it just simply changes the value of end x. So bottom left we will just simply this one. So when it comes to this, so what is happening over here? So when it comes to this, so the value of x is changing, so the value of start x is changing and the value of end y is changing. So start x is changing, end y is changing, and the remaining values are gonna be the same. So that's gonna be min of y. At least AI really helped me a lot to simplify the code. Understood. And this is gonna be max of x. Okay, lastly we have top left, so ultimately end is gonna change over here, so this will always remain the min of x, this will always remain min of y, and that is it, the job is done. And once this is done, we are actually normalizing it also. So what we are doing, we are normalizing it, normalizing in the sense, okay, we are sort of changing the value of x and y. The value of start that I actually have here, that can actually be negative in that case, because if we keep moving, so if the start becomes negative, in that case we just simply swap the values, we even get the width and height, and we just simply update it. Once updated, we get the updated shape. Once we got the updated shape, we are just simply setting the shapes, and we are just simply setting the selected shape, we are simply setting the bounds, and that is it. It should be working fine. Here we are. Yeah, that's the issue here with this, that as soon as I click it, it goes up a little and then comes back. Why? Because there is tolerance. Yeah, the issue is that what am I actually doing over here right now? I'm getting selected shape, I'm getting the current points, based on the current points I'm changing the value of the selected shape. We are getting the bounce over here, so we are doing everything based on the bounce, right? And when it comes to this bounce, the bounce, they have extra tolerance, that becomes problematic thing. If the bounce, they have extra tolerance, it will increase. So if I actually go to bounce, get bounce, where is that? So whenever we click handle down, at that time we are just simply getting the bounce handle. Here it is. And what am I doing here? We are adding the tolerance. If I do not add the tolerance, it's gonna be problematic. So instead of adding the tolerance, negatively, add the tolerance positively. I'll show you, I'll tell you what exactly that means. But if I just remove it from here, yeah, now it doesn't happen that way. But there is one problem. But once I select it, it just comes over the shape. That becomes problematic. Tolerance needs to be here. So probably this is not what I need to change. I am definitely adding the extra tolerance somewhere. Tolerance, where is that getting added? Okay. We are the infinite points, and then we are getting this. Update bounds for shape without points. That's okay, it's getting done as well. It turns out we have functions inside a function. So whenever we are returning the value over here, we are just simply adding the tolerance, and this tolerance is required so that we have some distance, right, between the bounding box and that. Now the only thing is that as soon as I start moving it, it becomes bigger. In the region it becomes bigger, that the bounding box I am getting, as per that it's being moved and all. So when I get the bounding box here, I have to somehow subtract the tolerance here. Let's see. So when it comes to resize the shape, we are getting the bounds. Once we got the bounds, we just simply start working on this. That's one thing, that this min x that I have, that's not exact min x. That simply means tolerance needs to be subtracted. Any better way? Yeah, let's do one thing. Bounds min x, that's gonna be bounds dot, or even instead of doing this, so the tolerance that was there plus tolerance, it just needs to be opposite here. Const min y bounds dot y plus tolerance. Because the last time I subtracted the tolerance, so plus means it will increase the value of min x and min y by that tolerance, and that's what I want. Const max x minus tolerance over here, bounds dot max y minus tolerance. Let's see what's the result right now. Yeah, it works the way I want. or not? It still increases the, yeah, just a sec. It still increases this a bit. Why? The tolerance that I increased, that's not enough, or decreased. I need to divide, multiply it by twice, because somewhere I'm doing 2. I'll see. So how about this? Anyway, coming back to this, what's wrong with this now? What the hell? New bug. We are able to do it, right? It should be max. Okay, now let's see. It is actually right. It works the way because the value of x and y, that doesn't, and that simply means it's fine. And if I do not add the tolerance here, then the value of x and y will also change as soon as I click on this. Yeah, as expected. So why are we doing it? Subtracting the removing the tolerance here, because for mouse click or cursor click, it was added when getting the bounding box. Bounce, what was the name of that? Get a bounding box, this one. It will work great for this too. So this is fine. So at the end of the day, what we are doing, we are getting this bounding box, and once we got this bounding box, then we got the start point, we got the end point. We are changing the starting and end point of the bounding box only. And once we change the points the right way, after that what we are doing, so once the coordinates of this bounding box changed, after that we are just simply getting the width, height, or x and y points, and if the value of the end goes more than x, so we are just simply what we are doing, we are normalizing it in the sense the start will become end and end will become start, and the width and height, that will always be absolute. That simply means the value will never be negative. So at this point of time, this was the end initially. Now as it reaches that, this becomes the start and this becomes the end. So it just simply switches automatically, and that's what is being done here when we are normalizing it. So as we are normalizing it, that's the same thing is done here. And when we normalize this, we got the rectangle. normalized rect ultimately. It is sort of bounding box only. So we got the value of new bounding box, and once we have the bounding box, we can even get the value of what? It is sort of the new rectangle. So normalized rectangle, inside that particular rectangle any shape is going to be drawn. That's right. Is normalized rect name fine? Is good, and it's commonly using graphics in canvas code. So normalized rect yeah, so it does make sense. At the end of the day we are just doing that, and once we got that, we are just simply gonna be, let's do one thing. I'd like to just simply keep it here. So once we normalized, we got the value of x, y, width, height and all. And coming back to this one, we are just simply setting the shapes and the job is done. So at least these few things are working. Let's talk about this line. I think working on this is gonna be simple. Why? Mainly because let's do not work on this middle point for as of right now. Let's work on these points, starting and end point, and we have to just simply resize line. So in that case, in line we have just start and y, and we don't really need to normalize it, right? So even when I was creating the shape, so we did not, what we have points here, yeah, how can I forget that? So in line we have points, got it, and the values of those points, that's the distance. That distance can actually be negative. So what I have to do, the points that I actually have, I have to subtract the distance from the points, and that should be fine. So the distance between the end point and we have to do two things here. First of all, we have to change the points, as well as we have to change the x coordinate if we are clicking on that. So it doesn't matter where we are doing that, we have to go through these things. Okay, let's get it done. So coming back to this, use drawing canvas, we have handled only one case here. We haven't handled the other case, that is resizing arrow line in free draw. So let's just simply start working on that. So how? We are already getting the selected shape, we are already getting the current points, fine, and when I clicked on the shape in the bounding box, we got min x and we got this. So ultimately, even if we go with the bounding box, that's gonna be completely alright, and we have the current point, that is fine. Now we have to use a switch statement here as well. The only problem here is that when I click on this, what should I consider it? And that's something I can only know when I log the value of it, and especially when I click on a line, what happens? So whenever I'm clicking on a shape, okay, what am I doing in that case? So whenever pointer down happened, it was select, we got the shape at position, set a selected shape element, we got the bounding box of that and we set the bounding box. And after that, get the resize handle you clicked on. So this just simply returns me the resize handle, right? The question is, what will it return me for a line? Left, right, bottom, right, top, bottom. This is not good, or this is as per the shape of the line, right? It returns me top, bottom. Of course it cannot, or it can. Yeah, so it cannot return me corners, top, left and all. So at the end of the day, if it is left or top, we have to resize it in one way. If it is right and arm, we have to resize it one way. That's the only thing we can do. And once we change this, the entire section got changed. Let's see. And probably we need to have one more that's gonna be calling it middle, and that's gonna be insane in that case. This is actually null. So get resize handle add point. So we are passing the start point, we are passing the bounds, and we are passing the scale. Those bounds has this particular value, and we are just simply gonna be checking where I clicked. How can I write the same logic for this? Coming back to this, we can say one thing, like instead of using this switch statement, const handle is gonna be this, and if handle that's triple equals to top, or handle triple equals to left, in that case we have to do something. And what we actually have to do, we have to change the value of x and y, that is it, as simple as that. And that particular value can be changed with the value of the point, current point. Let's see, otherwise we'll of course take the help of AI. So set updated shape dot x is gonna be current point dot x and y is gonna be current point dot y. That's gonna be the updated shape. Okay, so this is the first thing. Else if that triple equals to bottom, or and else triple equals to right, in that case that's interesting because we even have the points. So we have to get the value of dx and dy that will return me the difference, right? So I even need dx, that's gonna be number. I even need dy, that's also gonna be a number. Why do I need them? The main reason is that I even need to know about the distance. I already had them calculated, so dx and dy. So now I'm gonna know the distance between the last point and the current point. What is the next thing? If I actually know the distance, then what? That distance can be positive, that distance can be negative, that is also right. End point minus last point. So if that is so the value of x and y, that's gonna be always the current one. There's no problem with that as such. We have points here, and we actually have many points. So those points, they need to be updated. In that case, we have a point object key, points key, that itself is an array, that's a two-dimensional array, and that has relative distance. What do we have to do? We have to just simply add dx and dy in that relative distance. The question is, how can we do it? Updated shape dot points dot, now what? Map. We are gonna be getting a point. Once we got a point, we'll return an array, and point of 0 plus dx in point of 1 plus dy. So this is the distance related to starting point. We are just simply adding dx. Now this dx can be positive or negative both, and we are doing the same thing here. Let's see how it goes. So once we have the updated shape like this, what's the next thing? We got the updated shape. Okay, and if that is equals to bottom and all, so we have to just simply change this. So we have to just simply change the state, updated shape, that is it. We don't necessarily need to change. Yeah, that's right. Coming back to this one, we don't really need to change x and y here. Rather, I just need to change this. So we have the updated shape. Once we have the updated shape, set shape, I'm gonna be getting previous shapes. Once we have the previous shapes dot map, I'm gonna be getting shape, and if shape dot id triple equals to once this is done, then we have to set the bounds as well, the new bounds. And to set the new bounds, we already had the rule that was this. It's used before being initialized. Why? We have this if statement. If we are able to use it here, we should be able to use this here as well. Aren't we assigning the value here? Alrighty, this seems to be fine. Same thing I need to do here. So we are just simply changing the points. That's fine. It's not being really this should be fine actually, if I'm not wrong. At least we should be able to change the coordinates of x and y. And then we are just simply updating the points. That's nothing but the relative distance. If we are just simply adding the value, that's sort of good as well. selected dated already. So initially both were right. As I moved, so the updated one is 271, 334. As for the points, 0 points are not changing. And ultimately only one should change, but here both are changing. (81 to 67), so they are somehow changing, but not exactly the way I want them to be. So in that case, what am I missing? Okay, we even have the bottom right. That's interesting. So in that case, if the handle is top, left, or this logic is not right. It cannot be. The way I'm changing the things, that's not good at all. So in that case, what? The handle should be for a line start and end. That is it. As simple as that. We have to change the handles. So whenever I'm getting a handle, the question is that get resize handle at point. We are sending the start point, bounce and scale. What else? We are sending bounce. These bounce are coming from where selector. We have to send one more thing. That's gonna be selected shape. Why? I'm telling you. So we need to get selected shape here. What was the sequence in here? That was the second one. Selected shape. Okay, coming back to this, we have the selected shape. What we have to do, we have to get the type of this. We are directly getting the bounds, that those bounds belong to this. We have mean and all. What I have to do, that instead of going through all this, checking for these types of first of all we are checking for the corner, then this all. So what I have to do, I have to have a check over here. What is that check? That check is const if selected shape dot type is gonna be equals to, if type is equals to line or arrow, or type is equals to line, or in case of free draw I don't need to worry about it, that's fine, only this much I need to. In that case I'm gonna be returning, in that case what I have min x, I have min y, I have max x, I have max y. Line handle, get line or segment handle, it will be for both. Get segment handle. And I'm just simply gonna now the question is, what is this segment handle does? Okay, let's check this thing out. Function seg it is mainly gonna get the bounce. Selected shape bounce. Now const, even it needs to get the start point. So bounce and alternative point that I need to pass from here. Coming back to this, what will this do? I have the bounce here, right? So const okay, once I have the bounce, what will they do? Using the bounce I can get the start, I can get the end. They are the bounce. Even I need to subtract the tolerance, but okay, we'll be doing that. You may need we may need to do it, but we'll see. So I'm here. After that, what? Const mid is going to be what? X is gonna be min x plus min y divided by 2. अरे भाई max x by 2. Alrighty, so we got these three values now. That is what? That is a circle. So if that is a circle, we have to see if that that is inside a circle or not. So this is how it's gonna be going on. I'm just gonna take a break. There's some urgent work. I need to get that done. What time is it? 9:40, right? So let me do one thing. How long have I been live for? 1 hour 26. Let me take a break for 5 minutes. After that, I'll be back and then continue from here on. So ultimately, for 5 minutes or probably less than that. I'll be right back. Alright, everybody, welcome back, and let's continue from here on. Let's see exactly how much we can accomplish here. So we have the start and all, and now we have to just simply check. So if we have start, so the tolerance is not added here, right? These are the normal bounds. So when I got the bounds, I added the tolerance as well. So we may have to subtract that tolerance, or that is fine. We are just simply checking this segment, so the tolerance is fine. Coming back to this, now we have to see that the point that we have with the what's the radius. So line selection. So what we actually do over here, we had a handle radius, right? So this is the handle radius we have 5 by this, and we have the points, and they are the sort of what points. When it comes to these points that I have start, end, so ultimately min x and min y, what kind of point is this? This is the bounding one. That simply means there is tolerance, and on that particular tolerance I have to create a rectangle. So they are the starting points for that particular circle. So they are the starting points for circle. Okay, so the way I have this function over here, I have get bounding box, I have is point in recto. Similarly, I need to have one more, that's gonna be is a point in circle. And what I'm gonna do here, we have start, we have mid, we have end, and there are gonna be points. On the basis of that thing, okay. So we had corners here, we had the type in them, right? So points are gonna be equals to an array, and that will have this value. So this is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. It will even have the type of that. So end, so we have start, we have middle, we have end, just like this. That's fine. Let's see what happens once we have this. So what is the next thing that we have to do? We have to just simply pass it to another. So that's gonna be I have to ultimately return get I have to check whether the point is on these or not, right? So in that case, is point in rect, is point in circle, I need to have this get corner handler, get segment handler. We have is corner handler, that makes sense. Coming back to this one, after that, just like this, I'm just simply gonna run a for loop, and if I do not have any, so of course null is gonna be returned. But before even that, how will I check whether the particular point is inside or not? So is inside, I'm just simply going with the same way. Is inside is point in rect circle, and I have to pass the point, and I have to pass x and I have to pass y. So when I'm passing point, so at the end of the day, what should its name? Because the point that we have, this is gonna be overriding that, so we have to just name it better. So in that case, what can be better name for this? Line points. We'll have a line point, and line point is gonna be sent there, and a point is gonna be sent there. Now click the point. So ultimately, I'm gonna be just simply sending point there. We have the line point, that is this. Coming back to this one, I'll have first one line point, that has type min x and y. So type x number, y also number, and we have click the point, that's gonna be a point, sort of like this. Alrighty, this is done. And once we have done this, so of course we need to have a handle radius, that was 5 by 10, 5 by scale actually. Again, I need to pass the scale, unfortunately. Oh, let's pass the scale as well. Get segment element, here I had the scale right, so I'm gonna pass the scale as well. Once I'm passing the scale, it's not following the exact structure. Okay, let's never mind. Point bounce scale, the way I passed it here. So point bounce scale, point, that's gonna be point, second one is bound, and third one is gonna be scale, that's gonna be a number. Coming back to this, we have to just simply send the scale here as well. So is the point in circle? Ultimately I'm talking about this circle. If I draw any line, if I click on this, we get these 3 circles, right? So first of all we actually need to create a circle to check whether that falls in that or not. So is inside, then that is done. After that, if that's actually inside, I'm gonna be just simply returning like this. So if is inside, then line points dot line point dot type is going to be returned from here. This inside is actually gonna be a boolean. I have to check it. So once I have x, I have the handle radius. So we have to draw sort of a circle here, right? So const center x is point in rect. What are we doing? We are checking it for all. So in here what should we do? First of all, let's get the center x. So center x is gonna be, we have the x plus line point dot x plus handle radius const center y line point dot y plus handle radius. So we have the handle radius over here, as simple as that. Using that I got the center points. Once I got the center points, now I have the center, I have the point where I clicked, and we have to get the distance. Okay, const distance, and that's gonna be distance between the point that I have clicked point and the center. So math dot I got, if I want to get the distance between two values, so we have to just simply send the values over here. So the first one is gonna be click the point minus dot x minus center x, and click the point dot y center y. It will return me the distance between 2 points. Once I got the distance, so I'll check one thing, is if tolerance it was sort of already added there, we don't need to add any more tolerance. So if distance is less than or equals to handle radius, in that case we are going to be returning true, else we are going to be returning false. We are getting the corner type over here, and at the end of the day get segment handle, if it is inside, we are just simply returning that. Resize handle, that can even return start, mid, or end for a line. So in that case it actually returns resize handle, and the line that I have, so the type can actually be top Actually, that should be started here. Is this fine? It has type string. Okay, that's fine. So let's keep it string only, just like this, and I'm gonna return true or false from here, and you get segment from here. I'm actually returning the value of this, right? So the type is a string. That is fine, and now I don't have any error as such. We are returning either this, and then it is gonna be returned from here. So that is arrow in that. Then if segment actually exists, then simply return from here. Check for corners, return from here. Then top, left, right, and all these things are gonna happen. Let's see what am I actually gonna get. Handle start I'm getting. Handle start, handle bottom. How about this? So whenever I click, I should log the handle. Why am I not able to log it? We have handle start. Okay, so errors are here. Resizable direction. This should be resizable handler. Where is the type section? Here it is. Resize handle .ts. Export. Oh yeah, is it a value there? Just a sec. What the hell, it was a value. Nope, it is a type. The naming problem. Okay, got it. This seems to be fine. Selected shape element. Get shape at position. Once we got a shape at position, okay. Do we even need to do this? Selected shape, initial position, current. Why did we need to have this? Let's see where exactly am I using this. Oh, getting a call. I'll have to pick it up. I'll be back. Alright, everybody, here we are. Actually, I had to leave right now, but before that, let me check this thing. Where is this actually being used? So it was here, selected shape initial position, and then it is here, and we don't really need the initial positions right now, so I can just simply get it off this. If I'm not wrong, it should not be problematic. Yeah. So it's just like that, and apart from this particular thing, what is next? Probably somewhere here there is some kind of bug. It is only just simply sort of mentioning here that I have a bug. Okay, this get resize handle at point. So what is the problem? 4 arguments required, but last let's see. It needs scale as well. We are passing that. It needs a selected shape. We are not passing that. Okay, no problem as such in this particular case. Coming back to this one, this size handle type. Alrighty, this seems to be fine as well. Of course, we are gonna be facing the issues. It's not really gonna be working, but it's even not being selected right now. So, well, nothing's being selected. So whenever pointer down happens, let's get rid of this. Pointer down at that time, if that is doing what, we are getting the resize handler. But before even that, it should be selected anyway. So we have made it even worse, but okay, not a problem. So ultimately what is happening that it will only run when I have a selected shape. So that's equals to select a shape at position. We just simply get a shape at that particular position. If I don't have the shape at that position or selected shape, then return. Then that gets problematic. CG shape. We are gonna be getting this. Now selected shape may be there, may not be there. So as for this one, I better add the logic right here. So that at least I am able to select, and as for this particular thing is working, no problem with this as such. Mainly we were working on this particular section, and it turns out we are not able to move it, but we have the starting point. We have the what? How to know it? Shape at position. Handle start. So probably this handle is not working the right way, so we have to fix it. Okay, so we'll just simply start working on here. As I just come back, get the size handle, you click down. Alrighty, I'll be back and then continue from here. I have some work, so I need to get that done. See you.